ahead, viewers, Donald Trump has also expressed that Venezuela's opposition leader María Corina Machado can run Venezuela and said that she does not have the support or respect of the people. Trump has also said that he was putting Venezuela under temporary American control after the US captured Nicolas Maduro in an audacious raid and whisked him to New York to face drug trafficking charges. Let's first hear that statement from Trump and then we have a discussion.
Of opposition leader Machado, and have you been in contact with her?
No, we haven't. No, we haven't.
Mr. President,
do you have any hesitations about Machado?
Mr. President, on Monday.
Oh, I think it would be very tough for her to be the leader. She doesn't have the support within or the respect within the country. She's a very nice woman, but she doesn't have the respect to be the
Mr. President,
leader.
is it possible?
All right, Dr. Asta Chadda, who's Associate Professor of International Relations at Ritsumeikan University in Kyoto, joins us for this discussion. Thank you very much, Dr. Chadda, for joining us. We've all been watching the developments closely since yesterday. We had a discussion when the news had just broken out and the strikes were just launched, and everything that has happened after that has truly, I would say, shocked the world. Now, you know, we were having this discussion yesterday when some were saying that Machado could take over. But at that time, we had pointed out how Machado's spokesman had said and called out the US for the strikes at a time when it had not even claimed the strikes, when the statement from Trump had not even come out. That's exactly what has happened. Now, Trump is saying she doesn't have respect enough to rule the country. Of course, it's him who wants to govern Venezuela. He's probably going to have Marco Rubio or somebody else control the administration. Supreme Court of Venezuela has, of course, appointed the vice president as the acting president. But then what really is Trump's plan? Everything that has happened up until now has been very precise, planned to the T. What do you think is the US going to do as far as the administration of the country is concerned? Because last we saw and we, believe that Machado was flown out of the country right after her Nobel Prize reception was there, and she went to Norway, and then she issued a statement to say that US helped her with escaping the country. But now Trump does not want even her to act as the administrator. Who then, and what's the plan of action for Trump? No one knows for sure, but what's your guess?
Absolutely. I mean, see, had US not made the statement, or had President Trump not made the statement that they actually intend to temporarily run Venezuela, there might still have been hope that some grassroots leader or someone in opposition to Maduro's administration could be installed in power, even if it is, temporary or interim government kind of a setup. But given the fact that they've completely ruled out Machado being a leader in transition, leaves Venezuela in a very, very vulnerable position. And then again, one needs to go back to see why President Trump made that statement in the first place. He's made that statement because, together with, commenting on how they were successful in this operation and they took Maduro and his wife out of the country, flew them back to the States to face criminal charges for narco-terrorism, they also mentioned that now they're going to get the oil flowing.
Yeah.
And unless and until there is a leader who, in President Trump and his administration's eyes, can run appropriately Venezuela so as to ensure that whatever were the US objectives with regard to this military operation can be run exactly how they want, they probably would not be able to, succeed the Maduro administration, even if it is temporarily. So, there are some other candidates, for instance, there was, at some point, actually, Machado herself was backing Edmund Gonzalez Urrutia, who had won the 2024 elections. But is that also a person that the Trump administration sees as a possible political engine of this new anti-Maduro movement that they would want to stir? That is very much in a question mark at the moment.
Yeah, so when it says that it's going to temporarily govern, when Trump says that he's going to temporarily take over Venezuela, how is he going to do that? What are some of the mechanisms that we can expect his government to install in Venezuela? How will he rule a country away from being there?
Well, that again rests on the three major objectives that have now become very, very clear with regard to this US military operation in Venezuela. One is they wanted to target narco-terrorism. So whoever is put in place, I mean, again, I'm using my words very carefully here because we don't know who they intend to actually put in Maduro's place. But whoever is put in his place should be somebody who understands that, at least on the face of it, the entire operation should look like an anti-drug trafficking and anti-conspiracy sort of an operation, and should not come across as a regime change operation. The second aspect here is, this person who's put in place should look like they're facilitating a transition to democracy, because that is the second aim that US had, which was, to dismantle Maduro administration, because he was pretty much a hindrance to whatever US wanted to achieve there. So the person in power should consider the Maduro administration illegitimate, should have had a voice as such, declaring that even before the US operations, and then should facilitate this democratic transition, so to say. And the third thing is, again, I want to return to it, is President Trump explicitly mentioning they want to get the oil flowing. So this has to be some person who would enable, if not facilitate, at least let US secure Venezuela's vast energy reserves during this transition period. And again, another big question, we don't know how long this transition period, or how long this caretaking period would extend. When does US actually intend to reinstate or allow a certain democratic transition to actually take place? That again remains in a big question mark. And why? Because, again, if we go back to these statements, because we don't have much on our hands as of now, apart from the statements that we keep hearing from the US government here and there. And we are hearing that similar operations, or similar possibilities still there, that similar operation could be planned in Cuba, for instance. And hence you see a lot of these, negative responses to US military operation are coming out of these countries, who are clearly very, very careful. They are very, very, very much in question mark, and they are also very, in some ways, fearful of their sovereignty. Clearly, the Venezuelan sovereignty has been, transgressed in this case, and countries like Cuba, who in general depend for over 70% of their energy needs on Venezuela, are now in a bad spot. So we'll just have to wait and watch and see exactly not only who is put in place, but how long they are put in place.
Sure, we'll of course watch out for that. But thanks very much, Dr. Chadha, for speaking to